commentators having a blast with nuclear puns.
And you've joined the mob.
How embarrassing.
Peter Dutton wants to build 7 nuclear power stations.
Excellent, 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 excellent.
It's been billed as the riskiest political strategy since John Hewson's fight-back policy in 1993.
In simple terms, we wanted to provide a vision for the people of Australia that would really secure the future of our children and our grandchildren.
Which ended so well for the Liberals.
It's an audacious move.
The bloke who said the voice was too risky because it was short on detail is saying, trust me on nuclear energy.
It's just the vibe of the thing.
Because I'll fill in the blanks later.
Mr. Speaker, he's going troppo.
Says he'll release the costings before the next election, though.
Details will come in and are, quote, bite-sized pieces.
The secret is to take tiny bites, like so.
Cost pledges and politicians. When was the last time the government built anything on time and on budget? Snowy Hydro, NBN. We can't build a train station on time and on budget. And we've been building those for 200 years. How are we going to go constructing something we've never done before? No! And if you up a railway station, it's not going to result in a nuclear meltdown.
And every atom of uranium is like a bullet.
Albanese Smells Blood says, instead of Snow White and the 7 Dwarves, this is Peter Dutton and the 7 nuclear reactors. Zinger. Whatever cost Dutton and Angus Taylor come up with, double it. And whatever nuclear cost Albanese and Chris Bowen come up with, halve it. Because Labor knows even less about nuclear power than I do.
Yeah, but they don't want to know.
They're so blinded by ideology on this issue, they're refusing to know thine enemy. They need to acknowledge that if Kevin Rudd was right and climate change is the greatest moral imperative of our time, then everything should be on the table.
Just fucking hopeless.
I don't know about you, I'm getting sick and tired of talking about energy. It's sucking the life out of public debate in this country. When was the last time we talked about all those critical national issues raised in the Voice debate? Yeah. Same with healthcare, tax reform, housing affordability, declining literacy and numeracy standards, the national debt crisis.
Yeah, well, that'll get an airing.
It will, because whatever we do on energy, it's going to cost a shitload, renewable or nuclear.
It's pronounced nuclear.
CSIRO says the first nuclear station would cost between $8.5 and $17 billion. I don't know how they calculated that. The CSIRO is not an expert in construction costs, but it'll be a lot.
And we need 7 of them.
Let's say 20 billion each, hypothetically. That's $140 billion in total.
So now you're just plucking numbers.
Double it.
Oh, hell yeah, let it ride! Let it ride!
280 billion. In fact, round it up to 300.
And I'm going mad with money.
300 billion even is a fraction of the cost of replacing the thousands of kilometres of transmission lines that will be required by large-scale renewable energy. Because it's so surgy, we need to bolster the grid, and that'll be at least
$1 million.
$1 trillion. Some say 2.
Well, Dutton says we can avoid that cost by going nuclear.
Yeah, but Peter's being a bit shifty about that.
I'm a real boy!
First, the national grid is older than Yoda and needs replacing anyway. And second, under the Coalition's plan, we're still going to have some renewable energy, so we're up for at least a portion of that $1 or $2 trillion.
And that's just the capital cost.
Then there's the actual running costs, and that's where wind and solar have it all over nuclear, which requires a dickload of uranium, which is turned into some of the most politically hazardous radioactive shit you can imagine. And like Andrew Giles, this stuff needs to be stored somewhere where it won't cause damage to the rest of the country.
Wait a minute.
I reckon the economic argument will probably play second fiddle to the political one.
It needs to win over the 7 communities that will house the reactors. That's a tough ask, but you could argue it's easier than winning over the 700 communities that will have to live near Labor's wind farms and solar panel arrays, which even the ABC acknowledges will be a problem.
From here, we'll see nearly the whole wind farm.
And I reckon as time goes on, people would become more sympathetic to a one-stop shop solution, especially when they come to understand the full scale of what we need to do for a truly renewable future. Under Labor's plan, we need to build 1 wind turbine every day for 6 years. It takes 3 trucks to move just one of these things. We don't know what to do with the blades when they need replacing. we'll have to clear God knows how much bushland to make way for those solar farms. And we don't know what to do with millions of individual solar panels when they eventually run out of life. But when I think nuclear, I still think 3 Mile Island and Chernobyl, and I suspect a lot of older voters like me do the same.
Nuclear radiation had already reached Scandinavia.
People seemed unaware of the potential dangers.
And to make his plan work, Dutton needs to first overturn a federal ban on nuclear power, a ban incidentally imposed by his own party. And he needs the state governments to be on the same page, which right now they ain't. National Cabinet couldn't agree on how to manage COVID, which we all agreed was bad. So how are we going to get everyone on board for this? And we'll need to agree because the feds can't force this issue. The coal-fired power stations that are going to be converted to nukes are all on state government-owned land and connected to state government-operated transmission lines.
I think you look depressed.
I am. It's so complicated. And I've only just got my head around the economics of coal.
I'm too old for this shit.
I'm Ben Harvey.